Good evening, ladies and gents. This is Nuke 16 coming at you again. This is lesson 4 on geometry. Today we're going to be talking about the circumference of a circle, which is also the perimeter of a circle. Perimeter is the distance around, as you learned last lesson, and this is the distance around a circle. And to find the distance around a circle, we're going to have to know some terminology. Luckily today, I brought in our special guest, all the way from Melbourne, Australia, which please welcome Stephen Jinks. Crikey, mate! Oh, wonderful to be here. Wow, perimeter of a circle. How wonderful. That's like a bunch of koala bears. Wow, let's see what we've got to do today. Let's skip that. Oh my goodness. It looks like some terminology here. Wow. We'll throw some shrimp on the barbie. We've got circumference, which appears to be, looks here as the distance around. Is that right, Mr. Nukes? Yeah. So distance around a circle is also called the circumference. Blimey, that's great. Oh, what's this here? It's called diameter. Oh. Yeah, Stephen, diameter is just the distance across a circle. It's written here in green. And then you also got the radius. And the radius, you probably know, is the distance halfway across a circle. So from the very center to the outside of the circle. Wow, that's great. I didn't know that. We don't learn that down in Australia. What's next, Nukes? Well, take a minute just to make sure that you know the three things here. Circumference, which is the distance around, all the way around. Diameter, which is the distance across. And the radius, which is halfway across. Always from the exact center to the outside edge of the circle. Does that make sense, Stephen? Yes, it does. That's wonderful. I think there's an alligator coming at me. Oh, look at that, Stephen. All right, let's check on the next page. Wow, Nukes, that looks like an equation. C equals silly sine D. We don't have that down in Australia. I've never seen that out in the outback. My goodness. Holy cracky, how you going? What are we going to do with that, Nukes? Well, Stephen, sit back. I'll explain that to you. This is a formula that tells you how to find the distance around any circle. As long as you know a couple of parts of the circle, you can find out. In fact, all you really need is one number, and then you can find the distance around any circle. Now, most of you have seen this symbol here before. It's called pi. It's written like this. You mean a meat pie? I have meat pies all the time in Melbourne. I know exactly what a pie is. No, Stephen, it's not that type of pi. This is pi as in the Greek symbol, pi. And it's represented by an exact amount, which is 3.14. 159, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. We usually just remember it as 3.14. If you've got a calculator and it has the pi button, you can sometimes just hit the pi button and it magically appears in your screen. But for our purposes, we'll just use 3.14, which represents pi. If you're not sure where they came up with that number, pi was actually found when you take the distance around any circle and compare it to the distance across the circle. Somebody found out a long time ago that it is always 3.14 times bigger to go around than it is to go across a circle. So if you were at a lake and it was perfectly round and you were going to run around the lake, it would be 3 times longer to go, a little bit more than that, 3 times longer to run around the lake than it would be to go across the lake. In fact, it's 3.14 times. So let's put this formula to use. Circumference of the circle is pi times whatever the diameter is. So if the diameter is given to you, you can just simply multiply it by 3.14, and that will tell you the distance around the outside. Holy crocodiles, nukes! Why don't we try a couple of questions? Hey, Stephen, that's a great idea. Let's try a couple of questions. Here is a delicious circle. It's got a diameter of 14, so we're going to use the formula or the equation. Throw some shrimp on the Barbies, nukes. Can I give that a try? Stephen, go ahead, go nuts. Okay, I'll put up the equation. C is a funny looking shape pi times d. I still would like to have a kangaroo pie if I was back in Melbourne. 3.14 times 14. Nukes, I don't know what that is. Well, Stephen, grab your calculator. 3.14 times it by 14. And it looks like you've got an answer of 43.96. Holy cracking nukes! Does that mean that the circumference of the circle is 43.96 centimeters? Yes, that's exactly right, Stephen. Your distance around, which is the circumference, is 43.96 centimeters. Or you could probably just round this off to 44 maybe if you wanted to. And again, you can check it by seeing, is it about 3 times bigger than 14? And yeah, it is, because 14 times 3 is 42, so it is a little bit bigger than that. So that's perfect. Holy crocodiles, Nick, shall we try a second question? Hey, settle down, Stephen. Let's see what we got here. Wow, looks like we've got a question with just the radius given. Cracker, we can't do that. How are we going to do that? Nukes, this is crazy. This is crazy talk. Hey, settle down, Stephen. This is pretty simple. You know that the radius is half the distance of the diameter. So if the radius is 11, and that's halfway across, if we just double that, that would be all the way across. So if I double that, that's 22, would be my diameter all the way across. So now I'll use 22 because I need to know the diameter for the equation. Crocodile Dundee, Nukes, you are brilliant. Hey, it's not that difficult, Steve. Wait till we get some the more difficult stuff coming up later on. So let's use the formula C equals pi d. Circumference we don't know is pi, which is 3.14. Most of you memorized that in like grade 4 or grade 3, and you've been using it ever since. Diameter here is 22 because the radius was 11. And then with your handy dandy calculator, take 3.14 times it by 22, and it comes up with a stanky decimal. C is equal to 69.08. And Tarnowski, I know, is grinning. And we've got 69.08 is the distance around this circle. Again, that's all the way around. Nukes, that's brilliant. Yes, I know. Holy smokes, what are we going to do now? We've been killing the circumference. I say we just throw some more shrimp on the barbie and get out of here. Well, let's go barbecuing right after this question here, Steve. It looks like we've got 2 problems here. Holy smokes. We're going to have to find the diameter and find the radius. And we're given a circle. It looks like a squash circle, but it's a circle nonetheless. And it's given to you as a circumference of 35. Holy cow, I just got bit by an alligator. Let's get out of here. Settle down, Steve. All right, so what are we going to do with this? We're going to use the same formula, C equals pi d. And in this case, we're given the circumference. So the circumference is 35. is equal to 3.14 times d. So we've got 3.14d, or times d. Now remember, in algebra, if you've got a number attached to the letter through multiplication, then we do the opposite and divide to get rid of it and get d isolated all by itself. So we will divide both sides by 3.14, and that should shed the 3.14 on this side and leave us with d. And then we have to divide this side by 3.14, and that's 35 divided by 3.14. Again, use your handy-dandy calculator. It's always handy-dandy, by the way, yes. 11.14, or 146496. I'll just put it as 11.1. So our diameter, which is the distance across, is 11.1 centimeters. Again, if you don't want to do all the work and you figure this out in your head, you're just going to take the circumference and divide it by pi, or divide it by 3.14, and that's going to tell you the distance across all the time. Because remember, it's about a third all the way, a third all the way across is all the way around. So you could just divide it by 3, or in this case 3.14, because that's exactly what pi is. So our diameter is 11.1 centimeters. To find the radius from here, that's pretty simple. We'll just divide it by 2, because the radius is halfway across the circle, and 11.1 divided by 2 is 5.55 centimeters. So that's the radius. So anyway, Stephen, that's how we would find the diameter and the radius if you're given the circumference. That's all you need to know to find the distance around some circles. Nix, I have nothing but good things to say about this lesson. Thank you so much for inviting me today. I cannot wait until our next lesson together. This is Stephen Jinks signing off from Australia. Talk to you soon. And this is Nukes signing out. Talk to you guys soon.